There is a version of you in the world which is important, which is respected, which is rich, which is capable, which is charismatic and funny and interesting. You're not him yet, but you need to make a plan to become that person. That person exists. You have to make it come true. I don't believe in faking it before you make it. There is nothing fake about belief. You have to wait for the rest of the world to catch up with what you already know. You have to see through time, act accordingly, and prepare to told you so that eternally upsets doubters. I'm saying you must believe all of the things you want to have are going to happen. You must see through time with a plan in place so you can see it all come true to be the man you want to be. It is impossible, and I have never in my life seen a man who eats right, goes to the gym every day, and trains hard not have a good body. The universe is extremely giving. It will give you anything you want. He imagined himself with a good body. He made a plan to get one. He followed the plan and he got it. I've never seen somebody who works hard, who's in the right networks, who's paying attention, who is not rich. I've never seen somebody who dedicates himself to the gym and eats right, who is not in fantastic physical condition. It's impossible. You can have anything you want. All you have to do is make a plan and see it. So there's no such thing as faking it before you make it. No, you see it and you make it come true. You make everybody else accept your version of reality. You see a version of yourself inside of your mind. And when other people do not see it, when they look at you, you bend space-time and change your outward projection, your avatar, so others view you exactly the way you see yourself. It is called belief. You must have a vision for who you could be. The power of belief is real. Words and thoughts have power. Use them. They are tools and weapons to aid your ascension to greatness. Let me give you a thought experiment, all the people out. If I was going to shoot you with a gun, and I'm going to shoot you in the chest, one shot, do you stand a greater chance of surviving if you believe you will not die? You can say one of two sentences before I shoot you. Don't shoot, you'll kill me, or don't shoot, I will exact revenge. Which one of those two sentences makes you more likely to survive the bullet wound? The power of words is real. So you must say things that I had a very old video before. I said, I'm a sayer. I'm a sayer. If I say something, it comes true, which means I don't need the motivation to do difficult things. I just need to find the energy to say things. But then I have a bond to myself because my word is my bond and my contract is golden where I do them. So if I say I'll do 1,000 push-ups, I'll do 1,000 push-ups. So when I'm sitting there feeling lazy, think I don't want to do 1,000 push-ups, I think, well, if I just say it, then I have to do it. And I always have the energy to say something, so then I do it. So that's why I always train. I say I'm going to train every day. So guess what I do? I train every day because I don't break promises to myself because my word is iron, which means if I've never broken a promise to myself, if everything I've ever said I meant, when I tell the man, if you shoot me, I will exact revenge. That means I'm not allowed to die. My body won't let me. I'll continue to breathe. I'll find the chi deep within my organs so I can come back just to knock on his door, just to make sure his worst nightmare comes true. But please understand that losing hope is fatal. Hope, you will fight to keep it. If it's your six-pack, you'll do training to keep it. If it's your girlfriend, you'll try and keep her happy. Fighting to maintain and retain or gain and obtain shows genuine appreciation. When you're happy for something, you fight for something. So I believe fighting is happiness. And when you're fighting, you're happy. So let's make a list of all the things required for a man to be happy in the world today. 1, a battle. So the first thing a man needs is a battle. You're not happy without struggle. Well, the worst experience a man can possibly have is to be born with everything and not have to work for anything because there's no light without dark. Being rich is only fun if you can talk about the times you were poor. You can either fight back or give up. But I don't understand most people. Imagine giving up. Imagine it even being an option on the table. How could you not fight? I am thankful to God for giving me this battle. There is nothing I'm more thankful for than God himself because I know men like us don't give up. Bravery. If you have a struggle and you are brave, you will be happy as a man. It's not about always winning, guys. But we were never afraid. We were never cowards. It is the bravery which gives you the positive organs. You can derive positive organs from the battle. Which means what happens is you end up addicted to the struggle because you want the positivity from it. You want the dopamine. And if you're addicted to the struggle and you have any semblance of capability, you then become one of the most important and formidable forces on the face of the planet because all you do is fight. I don't have any fun. Fun isn't fun. Festivals aren't fun. Clubs aren't fun. Parties aren't fun. So the only thing that's fun is winning all of the time, which means I work all of the time. People say to me, Andrew, you have so much money. Why all you do is work? Because I want to. Because I want to. Because I have to win. We are designed, we have evolved, we're biologically wired to want to win as men. It doesn't matter if it's a coin flip. Put me on the street, and if I lose a random coin flip against a nobody, it'll ruin my day. I'm supposed to win. I don't lose. Guys, if you're ever feeling sad, do these things. You'll be happy. I promise. Fun is not as fun as struggle. Fun is not as fun as feeling brave. Fun is not as fun as having a vision and making it come true. Fun is not as fun as victory. And
nothing's as fun
as victory. There's only two forces in the world. Forget what Newton said. There are two forces in the world: stress and relaxation. You have positive organs and negative organs. You can fight evil or you can run from evil. The problem is, evil is very, very fast. So you need to understand that evil's coming. So you need to prepare for it. And you prepare for it through positivity. God is light. Positivity. Another thing that's going to give you a lot of motivation and power as a man is helping other people. It's inside of the masculine imperative to provide and to protect. If I love a woman, I want to protect her. I want to give her things and I want to make sure she is safe. This is how I feel naturally. It's my natural inclination. Another thing you should be doing is trying your very best to help people, to give to other people. You have enough money to give some away. You have enough time to take 10 minutes out your day and help somebody who is worthy. Don't be used by users and losers. So, some final motivational points for you guys here. I want you all to understand something because we talked about some very important things today, and I hope you took some notes that will allow you to build a positive mindset, because understand that your mindset, your mentality is the framework, the software which your hardware operates under. So your mindset, your mentality, how you view the world is the software which programs your hardware, and it's extremely important that you do not believe in things that take away power from you, and you extract positive organs from the universe by eternally struggling in battles which allow you and your bloodline to ascend to the highest possible echelons of masculine achievement. I can't stop myself working as a person who doesn't need money. And then there's people with no money who don't work. It blows my mind, which is why the winners are winners and the losers are losers. Losers do a little bit of work and rest. Winners work as hard as possible and worry they're not working hard enough. It's just a separation of personality types. And it's almost like you can't save these people. I have something I sent in my email recently. I said, you could give the average man a brand new Ferrari and a road map and a coffee and a full tank of gas and tell him the destination, success. And halfway along the drive, he'll quit because it's too far. No matter how well you set it up for people, they'll quit. I have this the same with my online educational platform, my school. It's $49 a month. It's less than a Starbucks. And I will teach you how to make money online. You can escape the matrix, you can get out through the hole before it closes, you can be geographically free, you can live in Thailand, you can make money from your computer. It costs $49, you have absolutely nothing to lose. I made it cheap enough for everybody to be able to join. And people will sit there and go, and then put on Netflix. What more? I've given you a Ferrari, a full tank of gas, I've given you the latte, I've given you a roadmap. I'm giving you a hot girl to sit next to you and play songs and do selfies. I'm giving you everything. Just drive the car. No, yeah, it's far. I don't have motivation. You're a loser. You are a loser. If you do not win, you lose. What do you call someone who loses? A loser. That is an underused word. Loser. My brother and I use it all the time. This person thinks this. He's a loser. What do you mean he's a loser? Look at him. He's a loser. He lost. Name a competition. I beat him at anything. Uno, marbles, a fight to the death. You name it. I'll decimate this loser. Oh, he thinks I'm a human trafficker. Oh, he with the loser. Give a shit. He's a loser.
But I think life is actually pretty simple. There's action and reaction. There's cause and effect. There's brave people and there's cowards. A lot of people are self-interested. And if you understand the basis of these motivations, it's not difficult to work out why the world functions the way it does. And cause and effect and action and reaction are very real. And I think one of the largest plagues we have in the world today is a lack of action amongst people. And deciding not to act is an action in and of itself, right? And that's the only philosophy you need for life. If you want something to move, you have to move it. If you sit and wait for somebody else to move it, you're a coward. Yeah. You're just hoping it's going to happen.
Period. Absolutely.
And that's why I don't understand when a lot of people who see where the world is going and see the future that's going to be laid out for their children kind of just hope and pray when they really need to be taking a more active role, even if it's as simple as discussing every subject with anyone who will listen and try to
open their mind.
Open minds, correct.
Yeah. And the closer that, it's actually interesting because I think humans, or maybe this is just me coping, maybe this is cope, but I think we're designed to struggle a bit. Because the closer you are to struggle, the more sensible you are. And gender roles all fix themselves in struggle, right? If you have 10 men and 10 women and they crash on a deserted island, the men do the man stuff, the women do the woman stuff. There's no discussion about gender roles because you're going to die. Right. So the men have to go hunting. The women are going to try and sew a blanket, whatever, because we're going to die now. Right. So we don't have time to talk about whose job's what.
Right.
Also, if you meet somebody who's had a hard life, they seem to be pretty wise.
Yes.
It's difficult to find someone who's had a hard life who's a total idiot. When you speak to these liberals or these morons, they've had very easy, soft lives. So I think humans are supposed to struggle a bit.
Absolutely.
And in the Western world, it's the age-old adage. I know it's overused, but hard times create good men create good times, and the good times create a bunch of weaklings, and they mess everything up.
Yeah, it goes to a point, and then it goes the opposite.
It goes the opposite way.
Yeah.
These people have had too easy lives for too long, and you can apply this to nearly any of the societal ills that apply to the Western world. People have had it too easy for too long, and none of them know any struggle at all. I mean, I don't know about you. I can almost crash my car 10 times. And I only slow down when I hit the tree. This is how I am. Like, I think that inside of the human psyche, sometimes you need to be shocked. You need to be hammered with something. That's just how it goes. Because until then, you're like, maybe I'll keep it in mind.
Yeah, well, I got away with it. You keep going.
Yeah. But when you finally learn your lesson, right? But there's a lot of these people out there who aren't being taught any lessons at all. And they're going to destroy society en masse because they have never had any kind of difficulty in their life. And what is life without difficulty in the first place? As a man, there is no easy life. Your life is not about being easy. Your life is not about being happy. Your life is always going to be difficult. All of the pain you feel, all of the sadness you feel, you're supposed to feel as a man, and you have two effective binary choices. You either go through the suffering and go through the trauma and go through the hardship it takes to be a man of value, or you suffer eternity as a nobody. There's two ways to suffer. You either suffer becoming a somebody, or you suffer as a perpetual and forever nobody. The reason you lose is because you've been programmed to lose by all of your experiences throughout life. Winners are programmed, losers are programmed. I was programmed to be a winner in any scenario because I was raised in a very specific way. You were not. So we're going to start at the absolute beginning of why you've ended up a loser, because most of you never self-reflect. You're dummies who never look in the mirror and say, how did I end up where I am? Why am I the person I am? Why do I believe the things I believe? You don't self-analyze. So you don't understand how your own mind works, which means you don't understand why you are where you are. Because before you make a move on the chessboard, you need to analyze your position. By analyzing the board, the smartest thing you can do is to try and take your strengths and play them off against your weaknesses. So if you're poor, you have hunger and motivation, what you have to do is fix the things you don't have. You need to get around rich people. You need to get a good network of people you can trust who have a lot of money. You need to find a teacher who's prepared to teach you how money really works. That's the first thing. The second thing, and your biggest problem to fix, is your monumental laziness. And you have to understand that you innately are lazy. You innately lack hunger and fire. You're innately afraid. You're a coward. You lack the balls it takes in many scenarios to get rich or die trying. That's the truth. People in the ghetto already have the fire. Those brothers already have fire.
Yeah.
They're already prepared to do anything it takes. You need to ignite the fire inside of you. You need to make sure there's something inside of you that's going to get you motivated like a poor person's hunger, because you've never felt it before. Because the poor don't need motivation. The poor understand what it's like to be taken advantage of, and the poor understand what happens when you have no money and no food. You don't. You're not poor. You have food in your fridge. Most of you are not actively building a future. You're not actively trying to build the dream life that you want to have. And then you expect it to just appear. Do you know why? Because when you were born in the middle, your parents put food in the fridge. It just appeared. The heating was just on because it was cold outside. We knew you never had that problem. That's why people at the bottom, we understand intricately. We understand this viscerally. We understand that nothing is going to come to us unless we go out there and get it ourselves. And once you have that, you have endless motivation for all things. That is extremely important. You have to train a fighter, a boxer. Do you want somebody who has poor nutrition and poor sleep, but endless fire inside of them, someone poor, to turn them into Muhammad Ali? Or do you want somebody with a good bed and good food, but lacks fire? Which one do you think is going to become a champion? Which boxers have become champion historically across time? Were they rich men? Were they from middle class incomes? Or were they from the ghetto? Were they from the bottom? It is all a test. It's all a test. You watch me because I perform flawlessly, and I'm not afraid to pay the price. You'd be up here with me if you were brave. When I say brave, and this is a genuine question, when is the last time you made a brave decision? When's the last time you took a brave route and did a brave thing? And I want you to actually take a few seconds and ask yourself that question and answer it. Bravery is a muscle like every other one that must be flexed and used to grow. Bravery is extremely important, and Bitcoin's a super easy answer. What's the worst that can happen? You lose your money? Do you think people like us were afraid to buy crypto once we worked it out? Once we were told about Bitcoin at $800, do you think we were afraid to buy it because we might lose money? Do you not understand? People like us don't give a fuck. That's how we end up here. Oh, you're lacking hunger. You're scared to be brave. You're lazy.
I don't want to put my $6,000 into Bitcoin. I might lose it.
I might lose it. Because you lack bravery. So, if you've done nothing brave that you can mention instantly off the top of your head, then what you need to do is something brave quickly. I'm not quitting. That's called handing the prize to somebody else. There are a certain number of prizes in the universe. There are stars that exist. They're just out there. There's prizes. So the people at the bottom have something that you don't have. It's hunger. You need to now, and this is the actionable, guys, you need to cultivate a lifestyle which is going to endlessly give you fire inside of your heart so that you never struggle with motivation ever again. You need to cultivate that with your social circle. So you need to be around motivated, hungry men. You need to cultivate it with the decisions you make.
God loves to see that. Those people, for some reason, seem to be enormously lucky, right? The person who goes, I don't have to prove anything to God. I don't owe all of my ancestors any effort. You know, for 5,000 years, people were dodging saber-toothed tigers and catching the plague and running from Genghis Khan. I don't owe them anything. I don't owe them a thing because I want to play video games. These people are losers. I wake up every day with something to prove. I have hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm in fantastic shape, 4 times world champion, fighting the Matrix out here by myself. More. I will have to be braver. I must try harder. All I do is prove myself. So when I hear people go, I don't have nothing to prove, then you're a loser. Peasants have never felt like they needed to prove anything, but kings felt like they needed to go and conquer land. Isn't that it's coincidental that the king, who already had it all, felt like he needed to go to some far-flung land and conquer it and take it and prove he's the king. But the peasants, oh, I don't have to prove nothing to nobody. You're a loser then. You're a dummy. I absolutely and utterly, completely have everything to prove to everybody all of the time. That's who I am. I will prove anything to anybody. If I sit and say X, I will prove it. And I don't want a woman to ever go through anything bad in her life. I think a man should go through it for her and protect her, because I think that's how she's her best self as a woman. But I think to be your best self as a man is the absolute opposite. And when someone emails me and says, this has happened to me, I'm like, good. No, what do you mean good? It's terrible. How else are you going to become important? How else are you going to find endless fire to get up and struggle in the face of the competition that's out here in the world? How else are you're going to do all that with a nice, cushy life? If any man's honest with himself, think about the biggest transformative stages in your life. Think about the times you got the most work done. It was a bad part of your life. You were heartbroken, or, you lost a house, or broke, or whatever. That's when you did shit. When everything was fine, the mortgage is paid, dinner's on time, it's kind of doop-de-doop-de-doo, little by little, do a little bit of work, do a little bit of relax. But the big events come from trauma. This is it. So it's a cheat code. It's a cheat code to climb the mountain. So when I get a message from whoever and he goes, my wife left me, I'm devastated. I say, I understand. I completely understand how hard it can be to lose a woman that you've given your entire life to.
I think that as a man, your happiness comes from feeling respected over feeling loved. And the reason perhaps you're happy now is because you have more respect for yourself because of the decisions you're making, and you have self-respect.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of men, even if they have self-respect, if nobody else respects them, they're struggling. I have no interest in being happy. I wake up and say, how can I be proud of myself? What can I achieve that makes me proud of myself? How can I do things that make other people respect me and are proud of me? How do I have a day which I complete when I come home? The woman who's in my house says, wow, there's no man like you. How do I live a life so my children look at me and go, Dad's a superhero? How do I make my mother call me and say, I couldn't possibly be more proud of you? I have to live the exact same life regardless of how I feel. So for me, happiness is not a good indicator on how life should be lived.
Well, you need to sit down and look at your life and say, what's going to make me as motivated as possible? Is it developing an imagination to imagine my dream life? I'm sure it is. Is it having a social circle of people who are always trying to elevate? I'm sure it is. You need to then sit there, look at every facet of your life, analyze it one by one, and develop a lifestyle which is going to give you endless fire, because without it, you are going to lose. You are broken inside. You are lacking a fire inside of you, because once you get that fire, you become invincible. The fire inside of your heart makes you hard to kill, truthfully. It is the fire inside of your heart that makes you uncrushable. The kind of cockroach which survives a nuclear explosion. It is extremely important that you are never in a position where you lack motivation ever again. It is extremely important that you never up an opportunity that is handed to you ever again. And these things are conscious choices you make by changing your lifestyle. There's nothing stopping you from winning besides yourself. I have now given you an actionable. The actionable is for you to design your life around getting endless motivation and fire in all ways. Everything you do needs to be deliberately geared and designed towards giving you motivation and making you feel hunger inside of yourself. Then you must take all of that fire, turn it into positive energy, and exude it out into the universe. If you want it to rain and you don't know what to do a rain dance. Perhaps the rain dance will not make the clouds seed. However, God will be happy that you're taking action as opposed to just sitting still, quietly waiting for rain to appear while being submissive and subservient. No, you have to go out there and do things. God wants to see you take care of what He has given you. Nobody continues to give gifts to the ungrateful. This is absolutely true about life. It's extremely important that you show God that you deserve it. Your discipline will shape your destiny, but it is extremely easy to be disciplined if all you've ever known is struggle. Guys, you as a man should be offended by the fact that my brother and I started miles below you and have surpassed you in every single human metric. That should bother you. But you should also sit there and go, why are they beating me? They started below me. They started the race way back there. And I was so lazy and so stupid, and I took life for granted, and I expected everything to be given to me, that these guys have managed to lap me and surpass me based purely on hunger and grit alone. They had no advantages. All they had was this innate desire to do anything it took. Now is the time. Every single day you need to wake up, take action, and get things done.
Happiness to me is a super interesting concept, because when people come to me and say, I'm not happy, I say, why should you be happy? They're like, what do you mean? It's like, who told you should be happy all the time without working for it? Happiness is at the top of a mountain somewhere. You ain't been anywhere. You haven't even climbed it.
I think everybody on the planet has something to prove. If you walk through life and feel like you have nothing to prove, then you're a loser. If you wake up each day and go, I don't owe anybody anything, I don't have to prove anything to anybody, then you are a loser, because you are absolutely not incorrect. You must prove yourself to other people. You must prove yourself to your bloodline, as we just discussed. You must prove yourself to God. God hates the lazy. He can't stand them. If He gives you all these genetic dispositions and these natural God-given gifts, if you have 2 arms and 2 legs and you can think, and you're not trying your absolute best, that's the reason you're not lucky. He doesn't like you. He likes the people which show him the beauty of his own creation. He likes to give somebody building blocks and them to build something amazing. It's the best thing about being a man. You get to build who you are.
Nobody cares about men being happy. We talk about women being happy. We want children to be happy. If you look at a full-grown man on Christmas morning, he's smiling because his wife is smiling. He's smiling because his children are smiling. Nobody even buys him anything. What do they buy the dad? Socks? Nobody cares about men being happy. So why do you as a man care about you being happy? That's how you're going to fall into these traps. I'm a very content person. I live a fantastic life. I'm not miserable or depressed. I'm not sad ever. But I don't wake up and go, I want to be happy today. No, sir. I wake up and say, okay, things must be done. And those things will be completed regardless of how I feel. Regardless of how I feel. You can lock me in a dungeon for an unknown amount of time in Romania, and I will still complete as many push-ups as I can possibly do in the dark by myself. What else am I going to do? Sit there and be sad? Happy or sad? The push-ups must be done. It's called duty. It's called honor. It's called pride. So I'm asking you why you don't have them.